little buggers, welcome to l'Académie Équilibre, and this is the second part of les pronoms personnels, where we'll be doing pronom Y, en, and tonique. So let's get started then. Now we're already aware under les pronoms personnels we have 6 types. First is COD, then we have COI, pronom Y, en, tonique, and lastly we have pronom sujet. We've already covered COD and COI in the first part. In case you haven't watched it, I would recommend going through that first, and in today's video we'll be covering the remaining ones. So we'll start with pronoun Y. Now the question is, what exactly does it replace? So we know that COD replaces a noun that is directly after the verb, and COI replaces a noun when there is a preposition before it, between the verb and the noun. If we talk about pronoun Y, there also you need to have a preposition. But in this case, it can be any preposition. That is, be it dans, in, right? Sur, en, and etc. Okay? Now here, what exactly are we replacing? What exactly is your noun? So here we can be replacing a thing. That is quelque chose. Or it can be a place. That is quelque part. Another thing is that the preposition a and the family related to it can also be used when it comes to pronoun Y. Then that creates a confusion that how is it different from COI? Alright, so here's the thing, COI is only done with people as in person, and pronoun Y is only done with things or place. That is to somewhere, at somewhere, or to something. And for COI, only the preposition a and the family related to it is used, but for pronoun Y, any preposition can be used. Now we'll make it even more clear with the help of some patterns. So if I'm talking about place, obviously words like aller, okay, aller, to go, is used. That is a destination. You go to a place, as in quelque part. So I go to France, I go there. That there is nothing but your pronoun replacing the country, city, region, whatever. Okay, basically a destination or place. Or if I talk about a situation as in your situation can be you live somewhere, okay, you are somewhere, you stay somewhere. Again, those are words related to pronoun Y, as in être, to be, or rester, to stay, habiter, to live, etc. You'll find the verb penser a lot. Penser is to, it is the verb to think. Okay, so in English we think of someone or something. In French we think à, penser à. Okay, penser à quelque chose. Now be very clear, when we use pronoun Y, we're only talking about quelque chose, as in something. So here, even though a is there, right, I told you, if a is between the verb and the noun, then we use COI. But that is only for people. Okay, here we're talking about things. For example, we'll take an example related to preposition plus a thing. So here you'll see we have two nouns, obviously two objects. That one is flowers and one is the vase. Okay, but here we'll be only replacing la vase. So I put the flowers in the vase. So here mettre is your verb mettre, to put. Okay, now if I talk about dans la vase, I can also say I put the flowers there. What is my structure? It is dans as in a preposition and vase is an object. So here I'll be using pronoun Y. Before we write the final sentence, there's a special note. Some of you must already know that Y is treated as a vowel in French. In case you didn't know that, make sure you remember it now. Alright, so here, where do we put the pronoun? It goes before the verb. Mettre is my verb here. So I write je y mets les fleurs. Okay, I put it there. Okay, I put the flowers there. I won't try dans la vase again because I'm replacing it. Remplacer le nom. Alright, and I want to avoid repetition. Okay, what's the point of using the pronoun if I'm writing the same thing again? What I'm doing is avoiding the repetition. Éviter la répétition. Now here, if I said Y is a vowel and E obviously is a vowel, so there's a vowel clash over here. So what will I do? I will cut off this E and put an apostrophe. And I get my final sentence as j'y mets les fleurs. This was our first situation related to pronoun Y. Then we have penser, that is thinking of something. So if I say elle pense à son devoir, that is son devoir is your noun that we want to replace, and à is there, that is preposition plus something, penser à quelque chose. So obviously we'll be replacing son devoir with pronoun y. Where does it go? Very simple, it will go before pense, that is before the verb. So what do I get? Elle y pense. Now if I talk about aller, that is another situation where my pronoun y is used. Now here obviously aller would be conjugated according to whatever subject there is, so you need to know the conjugation of it. So for instance, if I have a sentence, nous allons en France. So here aller is there, right? Aller plus some place, alright? And obviously a preposition would also be there, right? So here en is your preposition, we have to replace France. So what do I get? Again, pronoun y will be used here. That is, I get this as my answer. Before we come to our next pronoun, there are small things that you need to know. First is, when we do negative, you have to be careful when you do négation. What is our format there? Ne plus pronom plus verb plus pas. So here, when you'll be putting y for your pronoun, it will be an apostrophe. Again, because it is treated as a vowel. Another thing is, when you do imperative, we know only in imperative, positive imperative, what happens is that pronoun comes after the verb. That is the only situation where the order is flipped. So we'll take an example to understand this. If I have a sentence, tu vas à la plage, you go to the beach. Now when I make it into imperative, what will happen? I'll cut off the tu and I'll cut off the s, because aller is an exception in imperative. So I get my sentence as va à la plage. Now here's the deal when you put a pronom there. That is, instead of saying go to the beach, I'm saying go there. So I'm replacing à la plage, that is aller plus preposition plus a place, where pronoun y is used. So what do I get? I get va and e. Okay, because pronoun, as I told you, it will come after your verb. It is imperative positive. But here again there's a vowel clash, right? So what will I do? It will again become vas-y, that is go there. Now we come to our next pronoun, that is pronoun en. Now whenever we talk about en, you're going to associate it with quantity. That is, we're talking about the quantity of the noun. Alright, we're replacing the noun in terms of its quantity. Alright, now quantity can be of two types. It can be a specific countable quantity, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, or it can be uncountable, like sum. Now when we talk about sum specifically, we use article partitif, especially when we're talking about food items. So du, de la, de le, they, all of these mean sum in terms of food items. And it is called article partitif. Alright, so what is our first use? It is replacing a noun that is basically followed by a quantity. For example, so here I have this sentence, j'achète de stylo. What am I talking about? My noun is stylo, a pen. So when we talk about its first use, it can be any noun. Just the fact is there has to be a number before it. Alright. Here it is, I buy 2 pens. Okay. Now what can I say? Now if I replace it, I will say I buy 2 of it. Okay. I'll replace stylo with en. Why am I doing that? Because it is a number followed by a noun and I'm replacing said noun. Okay, where does the en go? Just like the other pronoun, it goes before the verb. Okay, so here the apostrophe will remain because e is a vowel. So Jean achète de. Now be clear that the will stay, only we're replacing stylo. Alright, so I buy 2 of it. You still need to tell the quantity of whatever it is that you're buying. Okay, you're buying it, but how many? 2 of it. Now if we convert the same thing into negative, that is, I don't buy it. Right, so here what we'll do, it becomes je, n apostrophe, en achète pas. Alright, because verb will come in the ne pas bracket and your pronoun goes with the verb. So I get je n'en achète pas. Now you'll see here that I did not write the. When I say I don't buy it, you don't buy it at all. Okay, there you don't have to mention the quantity. Alright, now we come to the second use of pronoun en. What is that? It is about food items, that is article partitif. Alright, this is your format. That is, if in your sentence article partitif is in and after that a food item is given, then what you'll do? There also you have to use pronom en. So in this example, I have the sentence tu manges de la soupe. So here you have to be clear, we're replacing the food item, that is soup. Whenever we're replacing the food item, we're talking about pronom en. Be very clear about that. Okay. And article partitif is there, which basically confirms our entire thing, entire structure. So what am I going to do? I'm replacing soup with en. Okay. So this en goes before mange. So when I replace it, I will remove this entire thing, including article partitif. So I get just tu en mange. Now these were the first two uses of pronom en. We have a third use that isn't related to quantity but related to place. So far we were talking about quantity, right? Be it countable, that is in terms of number, or uncountable, that is article partitif is food item. Those were the two uses related to your quantity. Now we have a third use that is in terms of place or a thing. Okay, so what is your format there for the third use? It is your preposition de plus it can either be a place, okay, that is quelque part, or it can be a thing, that is quelque chose. This will be your format. Okay, so for example, tu viens du lycée. Now this preposition de might be changed according to whatever noun we're talking about. Like here, it is masculin, lycée, high school. Okay, so it becomes du. That is the forms of de. We use pronom en. Okay, but here note that when we talk about the second use, it means some, right? But in this context, when you talk about a place or a thing, it means from or of. Okay, because here it serves as a preposition, okay, and not article partitif. So you come from school, high school. Okay, so I'm replacing lycée with en, and like usual it will go before my verb. Here it is vient, and this will be my answer. Now I told you something when we talk about pronoun y. Okay, we have this verb called aller that is used a lot. Here you will see the verb venir used a lot because you generally come from somewhere. Okay, that is origin. Like for example, I come from India. There when we talk about origin, right, we use venir and there pronoun en comes into play. Okay, so this is one indication of identifying. Another indication can be partir. So partir and the, that is leave from somewhere. Partir means to leave. Or speak of something. Parler de. There also pronoun en comes into play. So first two, it is about your place. And last one is to speak of something. So it is about a thing. So to talk about this one, we'll take this example. Nous parlons de nos vacances. We speak of our vacations. So it is preposition plus something. That is your format for pronoun en. So you get your answer as nous en parlons. When we talk about imperative, be it positive or negative, it uses the same format as COD and COI that we talked about. That is, if it is positive, it will come after the verb. Your pronoun, be it y, en, COD, COI, it will come after the verb. Okay, and if it is imperative negative, what happens is that it will come before the verb. Okay, so there, nothing new is there. So this was our second part of Les Pronoms Personnels and we finally completed it. I hope it is clear to you. Thank you.